Tonight, the city of Palm Springs is facing a potential loss of nearly $80 million in tax revenue because of the pandemic, and that could affect vital services. The city council just sent a letter to President Trump and other federal officials asking for financial aid. I spoke today with city manager David Reddy. David, thanks for joining us.
Sure, happy to be here.
Palm Springs was one of the first cities to declare a fiscal emergency. What has been the impact from coronavirus?
So obviously this is sort of unprecedented from what the city's ever experienced, particularly in Palm Springs, because our tourism economy is sort of the foundation of our budget. So over the 2 fiscal years, which is approximately since March through the end of next June, we're looking at almost $78 million potentially that we could be losing in revenue.
So what are some of the hard decisions that Palm Springs is now making?
So this is going to cause a refocus of what the priorities are, priorities in terms of the services that we provide. Palm Springs says, we've been fortunate. We've had the tax revenues and the resources to provide a much higher level of service than most other cities in the Coachella Valley. And that's been a very good thing. However, with the coronavirus, in essence, taking all this revenue out of our budget, the city council is going to have to be forced to refocus on what our priorities are. So core services have to remain. But there's a whole other range of things that we're going to have to just look at in a different light.
And now the city has sent a letter to major leaders in Washington, including President Trump. What are they asking for?
So importantly, anything that we can get from the federal state government will assist us in mitigating the kinds of services that we have to reduce in our city. So it becomes very important that to get a bridge, in essence, to when the recovery happens in our economy, any sort of state or federal assistance will help us continue to deliver all the services that we have been.
Do you think this letter will be effective?
So it's almost like it's important to make sure they understand our position. Palm Springs is different and unique than many cities because we're a tourism-based economy. And so what this has done is the tourism sector is suffering the most. And more importantly, when the economy starts to reopen in phases, the tourism sector will likely lag behind most other sectors. When people start traveling again, or can go into hotels and conventions particularly, and gather in restaurants. And so that's the heart of our economy. And so we're going to be especially hurt. And that's why we're making this request to both the state and federal government.
David, what do you think the long-term impact from this crisis will be? How long will it take before Palm Springs can go back to what it was before the pandemic hit?
Yeah, so that's the unknown here. That is the big unknown. So it's taken us 15 years to build our tourism economy. It sort of went away in less than a month. But what is unknown is the reopening, the re-entry, if you will, which is going to be slower for the tourism sector is what we believe. So we're looking out of a time frame of potentially 12 months at a minimum, and maybe before. But again, there's factors that we don't know. Will there be some sort of respike of the virus? Will things slow down again? And will that delay the kinds of gatherings and conventions and events that are at the core of our tourism economy from occurring till much later? So those are the things that we're trying to consider when we deal with what we have to make changes just so we can live within our means and our budget.
David, thank you for joining us.
All right, thank you.